Many people hold the idea that science is fact-based and focused on the external world solely, while the artistic focus is based in the use of imagination and is not as tied to external facts. The difference, however, is not necessarily one of a lack of imagination by those with a scientific bent, but a different direction of focus of concentration. Some of the greatest scientists, in fact, have extolled the power of imagination as being more important than systematic intellectual pursuit of knowledge. And on the other side, there have been great artists who have, from time to time, turned their attention to matters of science and engineering with great effect. One such artist was Leonardo da Vinci, whose work in engineering design and the scientific theories behind his designs has been highlighted positively through the centuries. Once an individual develops the power of concentration, he can turn his attention to just about any line of development or any pursuit and make progress in that field. Capacities that he had no knowledge about become evident as he begins to concentrate in any particular field. We see this with individuals who studied the humanities in college, but who wound up highly successful in business without a formal background or education in that field. There are numerous examples of people who turn their power of concentration on a, for them, new area of focus, and who succeed in a second, third, or even fourth line of endeavor. A disciple asks, "How is it that in people occupied with scientific studies, artistic imagination is lacking? Are these two things opposed to each other?" The mother responds, "Not necessarily." In general? The mother notes, quote, "They do not belong to the same domain. It is exactly as though you had what is called a torchlight, a small beacon light in your head at the place of observation. Scientists who want to do a certain work turn the beacon in a particular way. They always put it there, and the beacon remains thus. They turn it towards matter, towards the details of matter. But people with imagination turn it upward, because up above there is everything, all inspirations of artistic and literary things. This comes from another domain. It comes from a much more subtle domain, much less material. So these turn upward and want to receive the light from above. But it is the same instrument. The others turn it downwards, and it is just a lack of gymnastic skill. It is the same instrument. It is the same power of a luminous ray upon something. But as one has made it a habit of concentrating it in a certain direction, one is no longer supple. One loses the habit of doing things otherwise. But you can at any time do both the things. When you are doing science, you turn it in one direction, and when you do literature and art, you turn it in the other direction. But it is the same instrument. All depends on the orientation. If you have concentration, you can move this power of concentration from one place to another, and in every way it will be effective. If you are occupied with science, you use it in a scientific way. And if you want to do art, you use it in an artistic way. But it is the same instrument, and it is the same power of concentration. It is simply because people do not know this that they limit themselves. So the hinges get rusty. They do not turn anymore. Otherwise, if one keeps the habit of turning them, they continue to turn. Moreover, even from the ordinary point of view, it is not rare to find a scientist having as his hobby some artistic occupation. And reverse also. It is because they have found that the one was not harmful to the other, and that it was the same faculty which could be utilized in both. Essentially, from the general point of view, particularly from the intellectual viewpoint, the most important thing is the capacity of attention and concentration. It is that which one must work at and develop. From the point of view of action, physical action, it is the will. you must work and build up an unshakable will. From the intellectual point of view, you must work and build up a power of concentration, which nothing can shake. And if you have both, concentration and will, you will be a genius, and nothing will resist you." End quote. Reference, Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, Powers Within, Chapter 4, Concentration, pages 39 to 41.